Hello, internet. I'm running a little behind, and my lips are very dry. Okay, hi, hello. Let me go check the Facebook group. Welcome to the Removing Resistance training. I was inspired to do this because I was on a call this week, um, where it was the call. It was in a coaching group. I'm a coach in Faith Mariah's mastermind. I do like a training every month, and the whole training was on removing resistance, and everybody who was on that call had the same problem. So I was like, this is probably a big thing, and I thought, let's talk about it because I have a formula. Like it's something that's easy for me, and sometimes it's hard to sell the things that are easiest for us because like I never thought this is like a problem for people. Sorry. Okay, so say I see people here. Can you just say hi, let me know that you can hear me, and then I'm just gonna proceed, and then we'll have the replay in the group. But I'm Allison, which I think you probably know that. Hello. Oh, yes, someone manifested this training. Hello, hello. I can't see people's names, but I'll open up the Facebook group so I can see. So I just wanted to like clear my space. I'm like in such a weird headspace because I took off work yesterday, which isn't that abnormal, but like I don't take off on like a Wednesday very often. So I like didn't get back home until like 10 o'clock today, and then I took um a bath for an hour and a half, and then I had a meeting, but it was like a meeting where I was being supported, and so I feel like I'm coming back to planet Earth. So I'm a little unclear. Okay, I opened up Facebook in another tab. Hold on, there's gonna be. Okay. Okay, so I can see who's here. Okay, hello, Rashida, Rachel, Abby, Lisa, Bethany. Very good to see all of you. Bethany, I'm so glad you're here. I feel like I haven't seen you on the internet in a while. Abby, I'm so glad that I'm part of your manifestation. Okay, so yeah, so now that's the inspiration behind this training. This is my first time on video in 10 days. So like if you read my email, and I couldn't like talk about it at first because I was just like too upset, but I got like attacked by a dog, and I say attacked because it's not like they came out of nowhere, like it was like a freak thing, and I got 8 stitches on Halloween, 6 stitches on the outside, 2 on the inside. It was honestly really traumatic, and I'm still unpacking like the layers of why it was upsetting because of the scar is pretty minor. Like in person, there's like a part of it that didn't quite heal yet that I'm hoping will come together. It's like just looks like this bump on my lip on the bottom, but the scar is not that bad. But the emotional part of this was like pretty traumatic. So anyway, that's not why you're here, but that's why I haven't been on the internet very much. So let's talk about removing resistance. So and let me know specifically what in the comments, like where are you struggling with getting your tasks done? Because then I can contextualize what I talk about later for you. So, in the Holistic Art of Attraction, which is the course I just launched a couple months ago on my trauma informed approach to manifesting. So, we talk about mindset, we talk about regulating your nervous system, we talk about like why manifesting hasn't worked for you because it didn't work for me for a long time. And removing resistance is one of those modules. So part of what I'm doing like today, this is like a component of that bigger module on like when I talk about removing resistance, we're talking about reasons why we're pushing things away. So let me actually pull up those slides and talk about that a little bit. So resistance is when we're like pushing things away. And one of the ways that we create resistance is like procrastination, or another way to say that is like by not doing the things we know will lead to the results. So I think we all know that within manifesting, like most of us like agree that you need to take action, right? So even if you're someone, and if you don't believe in manifesting, that doesn't matter for this training, or really for any of my trainings. I think the topic of manifesting, some people find like spiritually incongruent for themselves, but to me, it's like personal development. Same thing with astrology, with anything that is remotely like esoteric. To me, it's like I don't care if it's not true. If it's not doing any harm, if it's helping me be a better person, then like I'm okay being wrong about it. And I think we should all have with anything esoteric, we should have those beliefs. So with removing resistance, there are some reasons why, um, like some things that reasons why it develops. So one reason why resistance develops is because of fear. So like we're comfortable in our current state. Habits of a Happy Brain talks about this, where um, we're constantly like looking for problems because it makes us feel safe because we have something to fix. So sometimes we'll stay in the problem because there's a part of our survival brain that feels comfortable with it. But another reason we develop resistance is ego. It's easier to trust ourselves than to lean into something else. Ego is a defense mechanism against feeling inadequate. And self observation leads to self awareness. It's the practice of disidentifying with your mind. So, ego isn't a bad thing, but sometimes we get ego, like when it comes to marketing, for example, we're like, I know it's not going to work, so I'm not going to do it. Or like, I really don't like those people who do that thing, so I don't want to do it. Or like, I hate it when people use the DMs. I get cold messages all the time, so I'm not going to do any DMs. Um, and that can be ego. It can also be alignment. Like some of those things can be truly out of alignment. Um, and so sometimes, like, part of why somatic work is helpful is because you may not know right now whether something is out of alignment for you or whether you have another type of resistance to it. So, somatic work is helpful because you learn to feel what those things feel like. And then another reason we develop resistance is control. So we can be so committed to a goal or outcome that we bulldoze everything in order to achieve it, like scheduling and planning every detail of every day, trying to fix other people, numbing out, or praying for certain outcomes instead of praying for the highest good of all. So control is another reason why resistance develops. So let's talk about like resistance in regards to marketing. So and I don't see any specific comments yet on like where are you seeing resistance in your own marketing, because that will help me help you. But in the case of the conversation I was having earlier this week with a group, the biggest problem was I know that I should be marketing in my business, but I'm not doing it. Like I create a marketing plan and I don't follow through. And it was really interesting. This was one of the bigger calls I've led in that group. It was really interesting that in my training for resistance, I was just talking about resistance to manifesting because that's like where I was struggling with it. I don't struggle generally to get tasks done, but everyone else is like, I just don't do the thing. Why am I not doing it? I know I should be doing it. So the first person who was coached said, like, I'll come up with a marketing plan. And then, like, as soon as I start falling behind on it, I feel overwhelmed. Or, like, I have so many things on that task list. It's just really easy for things to drop off. I don't know where to pick back up again. And she, like probably a few of you, has a full time job. And you cannot work from a really big task list with a full time job. So she was thinking it was like a spiritual resistance issue where like the resistance was coming from alignment but also coming from not just alignment but like possible lack of possibility, like what she was trying to achieve wasn't possible with the time she had, or maybe what she wants to do is possible with the time she has but it just is like she's not willing to sacrifice all of that time. So knowing my dog's gonna bark, hold on. Atticus, come here. Atticus. We're getting a package and I can just like tell that the bark is coming. So in her case, the resistance was coming from a lack of clarity and a lack of alignment. So I asked the question, like, have you made money in your business yet? And this is like the framework for all of you. So if you're a note taker, take notes now. But have you made money in your business yet? Yes or no? What is your most important goal for your business right now? Is it growing your audience, making money, or something else? If your goal is making money and you've made money before, where did the sales come from? Wherever the sales come from, that is the only thing that matters in your business right now. If your primary goal is I have to make money like as soon as possible, then growing your audience is great, but it's not going to lead to helping you like growing your audience is required for making more sales. But in her case, she was using a platform to sell. I forget what the platform is, but let's just pretend like it's Etsy. So if I need to make more money as soon as possible and I've only had 10 sales and all of them have come from Etsy, I'm not going to blog. I'm not going to be in bundles. I'm not going to create a lead magnet. I'm not going to post in Facebook groups. I am going to become an Etsy expert. And that's the one thing I'm going to do. So all of a sudden, she went from having 10 tasks to having like two. Is that if you have products already, then you don't have to be developing new products. You just have to be selling the one better on Etsy. So your marketing list can get really, really simple. And probably for a lot of you, when probably for a lot of you who are not getting things done that you want to get done, it might be because your list is either not aligned or not realistic. So going into the comments, Abby says, I realize I'm coming off a very busy month. You were, I saw on Instagram, you're like traveling. Where were you? If you feel comfortable telling me, I think you said you were in Texas. And I didn't realize you were traveling in Texas, and I'm in Houston. So I was curious like where that conference was. Realize I'm coming off a very busy month that was filled with tasks and events that took a lot of energy, was fairly stress filled in all the ways, plus a sinus cold that just wiped me out. But coming out of that, I'm feeling unmotivated to create content or marketing, and I'm dragging myself to get tasks done for clients, which is content creation, mostly graphics. It's easy just kind of feeling blah towards all of that. So my response to this, like in a live, it's harder than like a coaching session, right? In a coaching session, I could like unmute you and we can talk about it. But my advice, just like reading this for the first time, is you have to choose. You don't have a lot of energy right now. And you need to rest after all this stuff that happened. So I wouldn't force yourself to just go all in on everything, because I think it's valid to need to ease into it. So what is the most important thing right now? In my opinion, the most important thing right now, like the non-negotiable, is getting the client work done, because they've already paid you or the payment is coming. And if you want to keep them, you need to do a good job. So nothing matters more. Go ahead and just drop content marketing and drop it for a week. Be really committed to just doing nothing for a week. Catch up on your client work and then reassess and see how you feel. That's like my advice without knowing more about the situation, but we can keep talking about that. Rashida says, I feel a ton of resistance when it comes to engaging new people on social, expanding my reach and audience. I feel a ton of resistance when it comes to engaging new people on social media, expanding my reach, my audience. So it could be that social media is not the fastest way for you to scale, or like the most aligned way for you to scale. I think I remember your niche in my head loosely, but so again, like when it comes to engaging new people on social media, what I'm curious about is, has your offer sold yet? If no, then we get to just decide like where you want to market, as long as it's like aligned for your audience, right? So like if I if I'm like speaking to 7 and 8 figure executives and I want to go all in on TikTok, that's probably not aligned, right? Like I probably need to go all in on LinkedIn. So if you don't have any sales yet, just decide like what is aligned for you or not. So if you do have sales, then I would say, where have the sales come from? Did your sales come from social media? So you're saying, I feel resistance to engaging in social media. If your sales came from social media, then we need to figure out how to, like, what is an aligned social media strategy for you? If your sales did not come from social media, where did they come from? And how can we do more of that? And maybe like all your sales so far have come from referrals. So it's like, we're trying to referrals are amazing, but they're hard to scale. It's not a lever that we can force, right? We can't just like, there's only so many referrals that, each of our clients can give us. So If you are only getting business from referrals, which is why you're on social media, there are other ways to sell that don't involve social media. I actually did a workshop on this. So Leonie Dawson has a training on this, and she listed out like a bunch of ideas for marketing without social media. And then I did my own training on it because I was like, if people don't understand marketing, they're not going to understand how to use these ideas. So I did a workshop on it where I talked about like how to find ways to market without social media based on what actually works in marketing. So Rashida, like one reason why I'm going all in on my email list is because I realized that at the end of the day, most of my traffic comes from SEO on my blog or bundles. It wasn't coming from social. And then a lot of my sales come from my email list. Or people that are on my email list that see the post on social media. So I put in a lot of effort in growing my email list because I don't want to rely on social media as much. Like I like social media as a tool for expression. I don't like it as a tool for me to feel pressured around getting sales. And Christy, no problem if you don't feel comfortable talking about your offer. If you have a question, you can ask the question, not talking about your offer. Because Rashida didn't mention her offer. She just mentioned the struggle she was having. Abby says, yes, I totally agree on the client work and also easing back in. I'm getting too ahead of myself on starting to wonder if I'm in alignment. I'm sure I just need more time to let the dust settle. Yeah, I would let the dust settle because that's what your body, I think, wants right now. And that'll be so much easier because one day you'll just be like in the mood to market. Lisa says, I'm pretty sure I need to grow my list because I haven't sold anything yet. I have a full-time job. Also, like your example, I don't believe I have enough time, but when I have time, I'm very scattered. Lisa, I can't remember what your offer is. I feel like I've looked at your stuff before. It's been fun. Like, so I been coaching since 2017, but I've been in like the content creator space since 2018, and it's really fun for me to like see familiar faces. Like I know I've like looked at your stuff, Lisa, and that you've been in my world for like probably a couple of years, and it's just fun for me to like see people over like that I haven't seen in a while. Or okay, so I'm assuming that the midlife pursuits is the project that you're working on, and I'm just assuming, and that's on your profile, so hopefully I'm not giving away any secrets. So your priority depends on, so your priority, Lisa, for your tasks depends on how you think you're going to make money. So if your goal is to sell coaching, then I would probably grow your email list and do like connection marketing with people. If your goal is to sell low cost offers or have the blog monetized, then your priorities are totally different. So I was just looking at your traffic estimate. So your authority score is not bad. It's actually close to what mine is. Um, so like just as an example for people watching the replay, whether or not this is how you want to monetize, but okay, so you're trying to sell coaching. So in that case for coaching, like you can grow your email list by being in more bundles and collaborations. There's plenty of mom products. Ultimate Bundles has them. In my $9 audience accelerator course is all about audience borrowing. So that's like a really great way to force your growth. But if you haven't sold the coaching yet, then I would say your first step would probably be market research. So I have a colleague, Greg, who he does this, like I co-coach with his clients as well. And when a new coach comes to us, we're like, the hard thing about being a new coach is you don't know what people want to buy and you don't have a proven offer yet. So as soon as somebody gives you money, you've got some evidence that people want to buy the thing. So what we do is we challenge people to do like 30 calls to try to get 30 sales calls booked in 30 days. And we literally tell people like, you're going to post on social media and you're going to say, my coach has challenged me to do 30 discovery calls in 30 days. This is a call where I'm not going to pressure you. I'm going to give you a ton of value because I need the practice and the information. So if you want to be a coach and you don't have any coaching clients yet and are not totally clear on your offer, I would do a big challenge for yourself. And we could always do like an intensive on that if you want to, where we like write out your script and post your create a social media plan together for how you're going to get these calls. So that's one option if you want to do coaching. And then I see that you're saying you could go either way. Monetizing a blog is also interesting to me. So that kind of depends on your personality. The great thing about coaching is that the hardest part about coaching is that because it's a higher price point, it is energetically heavier to get the sale. You have to have you have to build up some kind of confidence. You have to build up a sales skill. You have to believe that what you're selling is worth, a higher ticket price. The exchange of energy in a coaching relationship is much bigger, heavier than the exchange of energy if somebody buys a $9 course from me. So that isn't aligned for everyone. Monetizing a blog is energetically easier as far as the exchange of energy in the sale. But monetizing a blog is a volume-based business. So depending on how urgent it is that you make money, blogging it's going to take time. So you're going to have to spend sweat equity in writing, and then you have to wait for the traffic to pick up. So if monetizing a blog is more appealing to you, then I would invest in a tool like Rank IQ. Like what I like about Rank IQ as opposed to because I've used Ubersuggest, I've used SEMrush, I've used Ahrefs, I've used Surfer SEO, and Rank IQ is my favorite because they are specifically giving you the keywords that are based on high volume and how easy it is to rank for them. Like how fast can you rank for it? And no other tool tells you that as easily as this tool does. So if you want to be a blogger, I would invest in a tool that's going to help you find the keywords that you need. And then I would the more content you write that is SEO optimized, the faster you will get traffic and make money with the blog. Although there is another blog strategy I learned recently. It's the blog strategy is based on writing 5 really good case studies and then running ads to those blogs and getting coaching clients from there. That's also a blog strategy, but that is very unusual. So okay, I'm glad Rashida that was helpful. I've had 2 web design clients since starting in August and both came from social. One from IG and one from Nextdoor. I just need to figure out my rhythm with it. Well, that's interesting. So one came from IG, and then one came from Nextdoor. So you've got 50% of your sales from one source and 50% from another. I could see you, if you don't want to just putz around on Instagram, you could go all in on using either Nextdoor or other neighborhood marketing. So if that's something that worked for you and that's more comfortable, more fun, more energizing than posting on Instagram, I could totally see you just using that as a strategy. But yeah, on Instagram, I think Instagram is a good place to get design clients. And I would you have to come up with a plan that feels good to you. It may or may not involve Reels. It probably involves Reels. But then I would, because you have a higher ticket offer on Instagram, Rashida, I would probably also have a lead magnet and or offer free website audits. And then if you want to kind of force your growth, I would proactively reach out to accounts and or just proactively reach out to every new follower that you get and offer them an audit or another free resource. So that is that's basically all I had to say. So I'm available to answer any other questions you guys have, but if you're feeling resistance to actually getting tasks done as far as your marketing, then there is an issue. It could be that you're doing too much, you're doing the wrong things, or what you're doing is out of alignment, and we can really simplify what you're doing. I review this for myself organically. I don't have a timeline, or I don't do annual reviews, but I review this periodically where I just look at what's fun for me, what's feeling good, what do I want to focus on, and then I just do that. So I've been really focusing on email and bundles, and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I was I miss my Facebook group. I still post in the group, but this Mindful Marketing Maven group used to be the only thing I did on social media. And I feel I've been kind of neglecting the community a bit. So sorry about that. But Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. Um, I have a course that's coming out. I wish I had the sales page ready for you right now, but I am building a $9 course that you guys voted on. It's called the Minimalist Marketing Plan, and it's a one-page marketing plan, the way that I teach it. And then I'm going to give you templates, resources, training. So I'm going to deliver that live later this month. I'll put that event in the group. And yeah, it'll be like a $9 one-page marketing plan for 2024. And if you come to the live delivery of it, I can help you. It'll be on, I guess it'll probably be also on this same platform instead of Zoom. But that's part of why I feel inspired to do this too, because you guys voted on it. So, all right, I will see you around on the internet. Thank you guys for coming. Okay, bye.